Welcome back everybody to linuxacademy.com. My name is Terry, and in today's course we continue our preparation for the Linux Foundation Certified System Administration exam. Up to this point we've been working within our file systems in a variety of ways, remote and local, and now we're going to take a look at a quick how to troubleshoot file system issues. Now when your system boots up periodically, based on the default configuration settings when you create a disk, your system will be checked for file system issues on each mount point that is local anyway, every 180 days to make sure that there aren't any issues. And those issues can range anything from directory corruption to missing inode references, etc. And they're generally automatically created. That's one of the benefits of having an ext3 or 4 file system, because it's journaled. Anything should be able to be recovered. However, there are going to be issues where, on occasion, where you may need to scan and correct the file system at the command line, and there's a utility that is used to do it. So we will use the utility called the FSCK, or FSOC, often referred to as the file system consistency check. It really just checks the health of the file system. It will give us a number of different exit codes depending on what it is. So let's take a look at how we would use it. So if we do a man on the FSCK, you'll see that, in all honesty, there's not a ton of options compared to options that are available on a lot of utilities. So it's used to check and optionally repair one or more Linux file systems. And then it shows you these exit codes that you can test for. You can do a -S, which will serialize the FSCK operations. It says that it's a good idea if you're checking multiple file systems and the checkers are in an inactive mode. Most of the time you're going to use a utility like this to check one file system at a time. You can also create a list of file systems for it to check with a -T, but again, in more than 20 years in IT and more than half of that using Linux, I've only ever used FSCK to check one file system at a time because I want to see what it finds within the file system. And I've also never used the -A parameter, which is available for it, but it will walk through all the file systems in FSTab that are local file systems. If I have to run FSCK, in all honesty, I'm going to run it at the command line as much as possible and view the output in a command line console. So let's go ahead and quit out of there. We'll clear the screen. And we have, let's see what we have on our system. We have fdisk-L. Now on the, we're not going to deal with the root file system, and we'll come back to that in a moment. We've got this dev SDB1 drive. So let's go ahead and use that. It happens to be a Linux file system. It's about an 8 gig drive. So how would we check that particular drive for issues? Well, initially it's very easy. We can do an FSCK on dev SDB1. And it will tell me that that particular drive is clean, and it gives us some details about that particular file system. If I wanted to make sure that it went ahead and automatically cleaned the file system if it weren't clean, I can pass in a -A, which will tell me I can automatically clean that file system. But what happens if I have a file system that's mounted? So let's mount dev SDB1 to MNT TMP. We'll verify that it's mounted. Dev SDB1 is mounted to temp, and actually we already have a mount to the temp directory. So let's umount MNT temp from our remote file system video, and we'll try that again. So once we mount to the temp directory and scan, we make sure that dev SDB1 is mounted on mount temp. Now, if I try to execute FSCK-A on dev SDB1, I'll get that it can't continue, that it's aborting. And you'll notice that what it actually comes back with is E2 FSCK, because that's automatically determining what file system integrity checker to run based on the file system that it detects in the superblock. Now, what about those exit codes? Let's go ahead and umount the dev or the mount temp directory so that we can work with it again. Well, if I have an FSCK-A and dev SDB1 and it tells me that it's clean, how do I get an error code? Well, what I can do is I can do an echo of the last exit code that the last application has given me, which in this case is 0, which tells me no errors. If it had been a 1, it would be file system error corrected. 2, got to reboot. 4, errors have been left uncorrected. 8, there's been an operational error. 16, a syntax error. 32, a user request has canceled the FSOC. And 128 is a shared library error, so it would have something to do with the utility itself. If there's a syntax or usage error, let's see if we can force one. In all honesty, I don't know if I can. So let's do YAX, just because that shouldn't have any. Okay, now let's look at what that exit code means. Okay, so I was able to force an operational error because I repeated the -A in the option. So I can only do -P, -A, N, or Y. So I can force different checks in the system to fail and then look at those particular exit codes for my FSCK file system integrity checker. Just be careful with FSCK. You do have to run it on an unmounted file system, which makes it difficult if it needs to be run on your root or boot partition. In those cases, you're almost always going to be booting from a rescue disk, and then you're going to be running the utility from that rescue disk so that you can repair the root or boot drive and fix any file system issues that may have come up. So for troubleshooting file system issues in Linux, that's all there is to it. My name is Terry for Linux Academy.